So let's talk about Hawkeye for a minute. Specifically, let's talk about how long it took for Hawkeye 22 to come out. It finally came out last week, receiving great reviews and accolades from the press and the fans around the world, and rightfully so. But it still took a really long time to get here. Issue 21 came out in February, and before that, issue 20 came out back in September of last year. Now, I'm not here to talk about the erratic scheduling of one particular book. I'm here to talk about a problem that actually exists in all monthly comics, and how some deal with it better than others. I'm talking about the dreaded delay. Now, in a perfect world, a monthly comic book comes out in one issue per month. Issue 1 comes out in June, 2 in July, 3 in August, on and on until the book gets canceled. However, there are books that don't make their intended release and get delayed. Sometimes it's only a week, but more often than not, it could be a couple of months, hell, even years in some cases. This happens for a number of reasons, but the primary reason is that the artist needs more time to draw the book. Now, there are two main ways publishers deal with this to make sure that their books come out on time. First solution, get a fill-in artist. If the main artist is having trouble meeting deadlines, the publisher will get a fill-in artist to do all the rest of the work. This way, the flow of the main story isn't interrupted, and the publisher gets to meet their scheduling deadlines. But this can lead to a lot of inconsistencies. Artwork can drastically change from issue to issue, and in some cases, even within one single issue. Rags Morales was chosen as the main artist for the Action Comics relaunch back when the New 52 started in 2011. When he was having problems meeting deadlines, they added fill-in artist Brad Walker to help him finish issue 8. The two of them have wildly different art styles. From page to page, it kept changing to the point where it was distracting to the reader. Another solution is the filler issue. If a creative team is working on a specific multi-part story and have enough clout within the publisher to not get replaced, then they'll get a new creative team in to tell a separate story for about an issue or two, while the main creative team focuses on finishing their work. For example, Batman Zero Year was to be an 11-part story starting with issue 21. By issue 27, Greg Capullo was having troubles keeping up with schedule. So, they did a filler issue for issue 28 with Dustin Nguyen, and then picked up Zero Year again at issue 29. Issue 28 had nothing to do with Zero Year. It was actually a tie-in to the upcoming Batman Eternal. Not only does this break the flow of the story the main team is trying to tell, but this can get wildly out of hand. Back when Adam Kubert was drawing Action Comics, he had to take a break to recover from illness, and his books were delayed from a couple of months to even a year for the last issue. As a result, we had a whole bunch of other creative teams coming in to tell wildly different stories from the one he was trying to tell with Geoff Johns and Richard Donner. Now, there is a third option publishers have, and that is to just do nothing. Let the writer and artist do what they have to do to get the story done when it's done. Honestly, sometimes this is the best thing to do. This way, everything remains consistent throughout the whole story. But you still have to deal with waiting months for the next issue, and sometimes that can kill momentum of a story. Especially for event books. Civil War was delayed so much that other Marvel books started spoiling the ending before the final issue came out. And the delays of Final Crisis were so bad that they had to create new fill-in stories just to fill time so that the final issues can get done. Now, there is an argument that once a story is done and collected, then the delays don't matter anymore. You can just sit down and read the story all at once. Which is true, but that really only applies to people who are trade waiting. For people who are reading the book month to month, this can get really frustrating waiting and waiting for the next issue. And if the delays are severe enough, that can kill all the momentum of the story, and you'll probably wind up dropping the book. And we're not even talking about books that get started and never finished. Image United, Kevin Smith's Daredevil to Target, All-Star Batman and Robin, there have been so many delays that they're just incomplete. They're never going to be done at this point. Imagine if you were watching Breaking Bad, and halfway through the season they had to stop so that Vince Gilligan can find new ways for Jesse to say bitch. That would never fly. Now, things aren't so bad. In fact, Marvel and DC have gotten a lot better with how they handle delays. DC will generally go the multiple artist route, even having 2 or 3 artists on a single issue. And Marvel will have rotating art teams. Once a story arc ends, they'll bring in a new one. Also, Marvel will generally give their teams much greater lead time, and neither company do fill-in issues all that much anymore. Of course, that's not to say delays never happen anymore. They certainly do, as we saw with Hawkeye. And honestly, I don't really have a solution for this. Maybe go Marvel's route and give your teams much more time to work on the books, and have secondary teams ready for when that story ends and the next one can jump on. Also, don't go announcing things before they're ready to be shown. It's been almost 3 years now and we haven't seen Wonder Woman Earth 1 yet. What do you guys think about delayed comics? How do you deal with the delays? Do you have a solution? Let me know down below or anywhere on the internet. In fact, don't let me know. Let Marvel and DC know. They should be the ones to know. Like if you like, subscribe if you really like, share this video with a friend. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time. Over at Marvel, they announced a new Spider-Man book simply called Spidey, about a teenage Peter Parker that is in canon with the current Marvel Universe. This is, of course, not to be confused with Spider-Man, which stars Miles Morales, and not to be confused with Amazing Spider-Man, which stars adult Peter Parker.
Star Wars did it the absolute best.
Yes.
They just streamed it.
Yeah.
And it was amazing.
And you can find clips. They didn't show a trailer. They showed like a behind-the-scenes
This
EPK,
time.
as they call it. Yeah.
This time. Electronic
Press
kit.
kit.